tell me your situation with hockey goaltending. Like, first of all, when did you decide to pick up goaltending, and when did you decide to pick up coaching? And
Yeah, so
specifically like coaching goaltending.
yeah, specifically when I start, I say about 4 years old. I had a
Oh,
hockey stick in my hand all the time, like
not
everywhere
skates
I
though, right? You
went.
don't skate at 4 years old.
No, not skating, yeah, but
Yeah.
my parents did the rink in the backyard. My sister was a couple years older than me, so she had already begun to skate, and naturally you want to do what your older siblings doing. So I started skating on the backdoor rink, and that led me to get into playing. And when you're first starting out in hockey, they put everybody on the ice, and you're
Mm.
skating around, and everyone's got a chance. And then the next year, when you're about 5, 6 years old, they start doing shifts, and then a buzzer goes, and I would look, and I'd be like, that guy gets to stay on the ice all the time, and that's the goalie.
Oh,
And
right.
then so,
Yeah.
when they're picking names out of a hat and they picked my name to go in net, and you make a couple saves, you get the cheer from the crowd. It's a really good feeling.
Oh shit,
So I was
sorry
like,
man.
oh,
This
this
is
is
actually sorry, super rude. Sorry, this is the phone call that I had to take that didn't call
yeah,
me
you take
back.
it, man. Yeah, go ahead.
Uh
Just resume whenever you need to.
yeah, I'm gonna leave the call. I'm just gonna mute my mic.
Sounds good.
Sorry man. Watching hockey?
I was definitely watching a couple highlights there. Yeah.
Yeah, I heard a little bit. Yeah, sorry. Do you have
Yeah,
any clue where you were, like when I interrupted you mid-sentence?
yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. So yeah, they picked a name out of a hat. They allowed me to go in the net, and then the coach did the old every single game he'd magically pull my name out of the hat, and then next thing you
Oh,
know, I was the goalie for the rest of the season. So yeah, I ended up getting to play. I actually started in Burlington, which is about half hour away from here. The minor hockey in Hamilton. My parents didn't really think it was like as good, or they thought I could develop a little bit better just being in Burlington, and they knew the training was a little bit better, right? There's a lot of non-parent coaches, so
right.
you're really going to get people that cared and started to develop. So fast forward to I'm 13 years old. My dad unfortunately got into an accident at work and broke his back. So um, there was basically a 2 year period in my life that from 13 to 15 that money wasn't necessarily coming in the house as much as it was before, and that was really tough for my family. So luckily I was working at a goalie school when I was 13 years old. I would help volunteer and help out the little kids and stuff like that, and that was something that I found like so much joy in. There was no better feeling than you see a kid that is walking like a penguin on the ice, and then you work with them for a half hour or an hour, and they're just having fun. You see a smile on their face, and then they start to the face that lights up when they drop into a butterfly, and then they make a save, or they
Right.
catch a puck with their glove, or they block a puck into the corner. Like little things like that just set something off in me that I was like, this is something I really really enjoy doing. And one of the gentlemen there, Pete Richards, I have so much respect for this man. He helped me out not only with paying for hockey, but giving me a job at 14 years old to pay me and to allow me to save for goalie equipment. And he owned a hockey shop, Konecki's Goalie School, and they had the on ice version, and then they had the actual hockey store. And it was really cool to be able to know that at 14, 15 years old I was making money for myself and allowing myself to buy equipment and help out when my family wasn't in such a good position. So ended up playing until I was 18. I ended up getting an opportunity with Windsor in the OHL, and it didn't work out as well as I wanted it to. And I kind of gave myself a cap. I knew, the chances of making the NHL were so slim, and I kind of knew like where I stood and what my passions were and what I wanted to do. And like you said about the 9 to 5, I tried it, right. Like I went through plumbing, and then I got an office job that I was doing for 2 years, and there was just always like something in me. I was like, what is my purpose? Like what the fuck is getting me out of bed every day? Like before it was I walk in the room, it's like, oh, there's a hockey player, there's John, like how's hockey? Always the first question. And then you're able to talk about what's going on, right? And when that all ends, there's always like a little bit of a tough period where you're trying to find like a personal identity. Like what
Right.
is
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
what is John Jeffries now? Like what's getting me out of bed every day? And that just happens to be coaching. happens to be giving back, working with kids, allowing kids to feel better about their game. And I think that's just one of the luckiest things that I've able to find is, you know, a purpose again. And then with firefighting as well, I don't think there's a job that simulates a sport environment more than firefighting. Everyone's working together, everyone's communicating, you're all working towards the same goals, the same task, teamwork, camaraderie. Everything is there. Like, you check all the boxes to allow yourself to feel like you belong, like you're all part of a team. So
It's really
basically
sick.
that's where I am.
So first of all, really sorry to hear about your dad.
Yeah,
How's he
thank you.
now?
Yeah, he's all right. Like, mobility obviously isn't as good as what it once was. And you know,
Right.
he has his T12
Yeah.
right in his lower spine. His bone's actually shattered in his back.
Yeah.
So it's kind of enlarged and it's lodged in there, and no doctor would do surgery on it just because
Mm.
there's such a high chance of paralysis, right? You don't want to operate on his spine, and you know, then the guy can't walk for the rest of his life. So it's kind of tough. Like, I'll be honest with you, it's really hard. Like, you know, it's a guy that I used to, you know, go on bike rides with and skate
Right.
with and do different things, and then, you know,
So
it's tough
he
every day.
can
It's got
walk.
to go through. Yeah, he can walk. It's, you know, it's limited mobility though, right? Like, there's
Yeah.
no bending or twisting or anything like that. It's, you know, he's able to stand up and move around and get things done. But yeah, it was definitely really tough growing up. You know, especially all your
Hard to
buddies, right?
accept.
They're all hanging out. They're all doing different things with the old man. And yeah, it's just, you know, it's part of reality, right? It's part of reality. And, you know, he's an unbelievably strong man. Like, you know, knowing every day he wakes up in pain, and the fact that he's always able to put a smile on his face, and
Mm.
he's never bitching, like never complaining. You can
Right.
see, you know, it's seen in his face. He's very uncomfortable, but it's very noble, and it makes you look at yourself and go, what the fuck do I have to
Yeah.
complain about? Like, what can, like, am I really not gonna like get up and go to the gym right now? Like, he's going downstairs, like, doing it. He's going to grocery shop. He's like trying to do things around the house. Like, he's getting after it. Like, how could I not? How could I not?
What's my excuse?
Exactly. What's my excuse? Yeah. So been very
Yeah.
fortunate in that sense.
That's really inspiring, and I believe that's in. I look at Canadians kind of the same way I look at Northern Swedes.
Yeah.
So we're both from, you know, a place where it's cold, right?
Yep.
There's a bunch of cold and there's snow, and I don't know if this stereotype applies to you guys, but there's this stereotype about people who are where I'm from and even further north than me, that we don't speak much, we don't say much.
Yeah.
So the kind of the quiet, resilient, you know, never bitching type of people. I kind of
Yeah.
look
I
at
think that's it.
Canadians that way as well, and that
Yeah. It's
fits.
definitely that balsam for or that boreal forest. That climate is so similar, especially to Northern Ontario, right? Like, where I was during the summer. It's so similar to the climate that you guys face up there.
Mm,
There's a lot of Finnish people that end up immigrating up to Thunder Bay, like basically where I was in Greenstone, just because the climate is so similar to what they have back home.
mm,
So it's definitely, you know, and I have European roots, right? Like, I
yeah.
gotta thank my nonna and grandpa that were, you know, my biggest influences growing up. And you know, there's a saying we use, strong like bull. My
Mm.
grandpa lived to 95 years old. He unfortunately passed away last year, and
Oh
we
shit,
shared a
sorry.
birthday together, and me and him were just so close.
Yeah.
Shared a birthday every year. It was really cool to have him growing up, and I owe a lot of my maturity and a lot of my, you know, communication skills to both of them. Just they just knew, right? Their stories were just incredible. Like, everything that had to happen for our family to be here, you know, jumping on the boat, immigrating over to a country you have no idea what's going on. There's no Google images back then where you
Yeah,
can go,
definitely.
oh
Yeah.
yeah, like, Hamilton looks like a great place to go, and I'm gonna go work at a steel factory, and I'm gonna make a living for my family and start again over here. Like,
Yeah.
just doesn't happen. Just
No,
doesn't happen.
I mean, I have tremendous respect for the everyday hustle. I actually tell my girlfriend this, because she has this mentality as well to just, if there's a job, there's a job and she needs a job, she will do that job.
Yep.
Whereas I can no longer see myself doing a 9 to 5, even if I have to. Like, I will hold out until something that I want to do comes along.
Yeah.
And that type of hustle that you describe with your dad as well, with, you know, you're in pain, but and you might not like what you're doing, or maybe you do, but if you don't, you get through it because you know that this is something I have to do. I have the similar situation with my dad, who doesn't go to the doctor unless it's, you know, it's really
unless
necessary.
you're dying. Yeah.
So he had a shoulder problem for a pretty long time that's now gone, and he was just putting on a shirt when I was, you know, at home visiting, and he was behind me, and I just heard,
Correct.
you
Yeah.
know, one of those. He really whinged really loudly when he raised it, and I was like, "What's going on? Are you in pain?" Yep.
That's it. That's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yep, I'm in pain. Like, okay, what else? Like, well, why are you in pain? I know this thing. It's, you know,
It's nothing. It's nothing.
they just go
It'll
about
go
their
away.
day.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. There's something about that, right? Yeah. Yeah. I
So,
think.
but oh, sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, didn't you say at some point that you owned a or this hockey school?
Yeah. So when I was 18 years old, right out of high school, you know, typically everyone's going to university or college, and I just didn't know what I wanted to do, and I heard a million stories of people, and like Canadian university. I'm not too sure about what it's like over in Sweden, but I know for us, like university is pretty expensive, right? And you
Mm,
basically put yourself in debt for a very long time, and I knew like that me not knowing what field I wanted to get into was very tough to just be like, yeah, I'm gonna go spend, you know, $40,000-$50,000 on university to get a degree in something that I don't really want to do. So
right.
I went full time for the hockey school, and you know, the guy that I was working for before, things kind of fell through with him, and I ended up taking over the school, and that was the best thing that could ever happen to me.
Yeah.
Like just the maturity that I got in that year of, you know, you're the one that's responsible for getting back in the emails, the payroll, you know, booking the clientele and making sure the ice maintenance is there, like really addressing things from a managerial standpoint. It helped
Mm,
me once I got into, you know, seeing the different operation of every business. Something as simple as like a grocery store, right?
yeah.
You think of, you know, who's stocking the shelves, who's checking out the groceries, who's cleaning the place. Like there's so many different aspects that you see, and it's transversal to every single business.
Yeah.
To
What's our
firefighting,
inventory?
you're
Do we
seeing
have
the
pucks? Do
chain.
we have
Do we have, yeah, exactly. Are
where's
the
the
kids coming
contact
in?
list? Yeah, when the
Yeah,
kids coming in.
where's my ice time availability? Like what can I do for cancellations, getting emails out? Like there's just so many different things, and you know, I saw myself going down a really good path of that, and I just didn't think I'd ever want to do it forever. And it got to the point where I was like, this is a passion of mine. I don't want to turn this into a job
Mm,
where I feel like, I'm going to the rink. Oh, I got to go like teach hockey, or oh, this kid's coming in, or you
right.
know, just various things like that start running through your head. So I wanted to get it back to a position where it felt like it was a passion again. Like this is something that I truly want to do, and I really hope that I think I found that balance right now. Just getting the firefighting and getting that done, being able to do that in the summer when, you know, kids aren't playing hockey, and then all winter long until, you know, hopefully one day I get hired full time through the city. Um, Hopefully all winter long I'll just be able to teach and, you know, make really good money doing it, and you know, just really spend a lot of time focusing on the kids. It was
Right.
it was
So,
so tough with the 9 to 5 before,
mm,
just trying to finish 9 to 5, a full day of work, and then trying to come in and give these kids your best effort. Trying to do 4 or 5 hours on the ice after you just finish working, you
yeah.
know, an 8 to 9 hour day
Yeah, that's murder.
is it's very difficult. It's very difficult. So
So first of all, education. Do you know how much that would cost in Sweden?
I don't. Yeah, like I said, if I were to guess, I'd say it'd be probably pretty similar. Like a year would be around like 15,000
It's
US
free.
dollar. Free,
It's
really?
free. Yeah,
Oh, there you
we have
go.
free education.
There you go. Yeah,
The only thing you have to do is sign up and then
yeah,
attend the course. So I
correct.
just did 3 years of uni for free. The only thing that it cost me is that I took a student loan,
Okay.
which is something you can do
Focusing.
if you
Yeah.
just don't want to work at the same time and you want to. And obviously, I still had my own company and like Pixbo, which was 6-7 days a week,
Yeah.
7 practices and 3 games with video analysis plus full-time study. I didn't want to have to do more work, so I took out a full loan, and I think that's about 30-40K in loans. But had I wanted to, I would have done it for free.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is super cool.
Wow.
And they also,
That's
so
unbelievable.
now that I've graduated in spring, they wait 1 or 2 years before they start making you pay back.
Start charging. Yeah.
Yeah, and you can pay back at a really slow rate.
Yeah.
So
There's
it's
a bit of
like,
interest on it as well, but overall, it's
no,
got to be
it's
pretty
super cheap.
nice.
It's
got to
super
be
cheap.
pretty
Like
nice.
I'll pay this loan off for like a 40-year period and just pay up, trickle a
it's
tiny
just a
bit of
small
money
portion.
back to them, and if you want, you can just unload it.
Do a
But
lump sum, yeah,
but
absolutely.
who has those kind of sums,
Exactly.
So that's the first thing. We have free education. It's pretty sick.
No, yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, you're definitely very lucky. Definitely one of the lucky
Yeah,
countries that have
really
that.
lucky on that end.
Yeah.
But does that
No,
mean then that you're not, you're no longer the manager, the owner, what's it called, of the hockey
yeah,
school?
so no longer the manager or owner. I kind of just do freelance right now. So I have John Jeffries Consulting, and
I am checking
under
that out
that
now.
under that umbrella, yeah, you probably won't find it. That's just kind of what the business is. But I'm with Granger Goaltending School. That's where I do all my goaltending through. So you can look that up. And yeah, he's huge in Hamilton here. So and then this allows me to through John Jeffries Consulting allows me to work with local schools that have hockey program, and there's private schools in Burlington that I go and teach for, and it's it's a really cool opportunity. Just gives you a
Right.
little bit more freedom, right?
So I am on here now. Granger Golding. So you have your own private business? What's it called?
Yeah.
Private business.
John Jeffries Consulting.
Yeah, and you just invoice them for any
Yeah,
work
just
you do for
invoice them. Yeah, contracting through. Yeah, invoice Granger through that through my business, and you know how it goes, right? Like you're trying to obviously get the tax breaks as much as you can. So it was definitely something I did when I was first starting out, when I took over the hockey school when I was like 17, 18 years old. And yeah, I've been very fortunate, like I said, about some people getting into debt that they're in for the next 30, 40 years. I'm very lucky that I get to walk around with basically no debt, and some good money saved up, and that kind of allows me to chase a dream, to chase a passion. And if I were to go to school and try and become a firefighter after, it'd be definitely a lot more stress, because I'd really be worried about my day-to-day bills with my rent and my car payments and insurance and all that other fun stuff that comes along with being an adult.
Yes, exactly. I watched this. There was this like right after practice, I think 2 weeks ago or something, just outside our like changing rooms, locker rooms.
Yep.
There was this like tiny moped gang, like 3 guys on their mopeds,
Yeah.
like rushed by, and then they stopped, and hopped out and looked at each other's mopeds, and like those were the days, man.
Yeah.
You could just so clearly
Join a
see that
moped
these
gang
guys,
and just hang out.
exactly. You could tell they had no worries.
No worries. Yeah.
But I also have to say, when I started my company, I traded all of that economic security. Oh, dude, you're representing? So sick. You got one with the zipper?
Sweater. Oh yeah. This is one of the
Really
nicest
sick.
sweaters. Yeah.
You know what's
I love
so
this thing.
wow, I love that. That's so cool.
Yeah.
So the problem, not the problem. I was just gonna say that I lost mine like 3 days ago.
Oh, did you?
It's completely
Really?
gone, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And also, by the way,
These are
hold on
awesome.
to that one, because it's now out of production. And
Yeah, I know it's gonna be valuable one day.
yeah, definitely. So cool that you have one.
Yeah, for sure.
Did I give
I
you
wear
that
this
one?
all the time. Yeah,
Like,
you
did
did.
you
You
get
sent
that
me
from?
a care package. Yeah.
Wow,
sent
you must have had
over
that for a while.
long time. Yeah, long time. Yeah.
That's so sick.
Luckily, I got the right size because it still fits me now.
It's so cool. So yeah, when I started that, I traded all of that economic security and everything, stability, to be able to pursue this thing. And the first 4 years, 3-4 years, and at sometimes even now, it's so shaky. Like I've had to worry about all those things. There was a point right before my thing kind of took off. I was like, I'm gonna have to sell my car to be able to just live, because my parents were like paying a lot of my rent and
Yeah.
making sure that I stayed alive. And I was like, but if I sell my car, I won't be able to do assignments. Like if a club
Exactly.
reaches out, I'm like, okay, I won't be able to get there, so I need to keep my car. It's like, shit, I might have to stop this whole Gothenburg excursion and go back up north and live at home or something. But then it finally like got some traction. But then I've been talking to a colleague of mine who was like, he said it. Uh, he was like, "No, I know I'm not gonna have any pension. I'm gonna have to work until the day I die."
Exactly.
But
Yeah.
that's the path that I've chosen. And when he said that a couple of years ago, that kind of made me like, all right, there's someone else doing this too. So
Yeah.
fuck it, I'm just gonna.
You're not
And
alone.
this
100%.
summer, there was no work because of
Of
COVID. They
course.
canceled all the youth camps, all the goalie camps.
Yeah, the
And
apocalypse.
I had 7 goalie camps I was going to work at. Like
Would
one
have added a little
in
bit more
Singapore,
stability
one
for
in
you. Yeah.
Germany, one in Latvia,
That would have been
4 in
awesome.
Sweden.
That would
And
have
I
been
was like,
awesome.
all right, I have no work, I have no money. And the anxiety was horrible, I gotta say.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
like you say, the joy when you get to go to the practices and work with the goalies, it's so worth it. It's so worth it.
Yeah, just all that other stuff. Just it stops as soon as you step that foot on the court or steps that foot on the ice.
For sure.
Anything that's going on, it didn't matter what kind of day I had. Even when I was working the 9 to 5, as soon as I stepped on the ice and started stick handling a puck, I'm like, this is what I'm doing right now. Just
Yeah.
able to put my mind back into it, and then you're giving the kid absolutely everything you got.
It is the
And
best thing.
you know, there's nothing better than when a kid's truly appreciating and really dialed in, and you can tell like this is like a passion of theirs. You're gonna get the kids that just don't want to be there, right? Mom or dad want them to be in the crease, and they don't want to be in the crease. The parents think they're a lot better than they actually are.
Yeah.
It's I got a pretty funny story for you. Speaking of Martin, I get a call from a goalie parent.
Right.
And they're like, hey, is this John? And I'm like, yeah, hey, how you doing? Very good. Just I got your number from so-and-so, and I have a goaltender. He's 11 years old. He's blah, blah, blah. Like, he plays. Has a couple of things he has to work on. We talk for probably 20 minutes. He goes, yeah, he plays a little bit more of like a Martin Brodeur style. And I'm like, oh, okay, 11 years old, Martin Brodeur style. This guy gets on the ice. Couldn't even stand up.
Right.
Like, couldn't get up on both legs. With goaltending, everything's isometric. So you're getting up on your left leg, blocker leg, depending on like the orientation of the puck. And from a down position, if I'm going to my glove side, I'm getting up on my blocker leg and little things like that. Just no strength, wasn't able to stand up. And I'm just like one of those just parents that just, thinks their kid's just a lot better.
That just doesn't know. That just wants so well for their kid, but just has no clue.
I know, and it's very tough to just tell a parent that your kid's he just doesn't have the sauce. Just doesn't have
the sauce.
It just doesn't have it. Doesn't have the juice.
Feels like he could have said something like, well, he reminds me a little more about Hasek.
Yeah, a little more dominator. Yeah. The dominator
rolling around.
Yeah, still made saves though. Still caught the puck.
But did this kid?
No. Like simple drill, get warmed up after we do a quick routine skate, your C cuts, T pushes, shuffles, all that fun stuff. Put them in a butterfly and just get some coordination going, right? Feel the puck, warm the eyes up. I just kind of float pucks in on the glove, on the blocker, just, coming to the chest. Glove saves, swiping at him, not even close. Like,
oh yeah.
And that's the thing, right? You can just tell a kid just doesn't want it, right? And everyone has their bad days. Everyone, has a tough day at school, and then the last thing they want to do is go training. So I can be empathetic to that. But when you just come in and give like a blatant lack of effort, especially since you've heard me over the last however long say, this is a really big passion of mine. I love doing it. There's nothing worse than somebody that just doesn't, see it in the same light or
it's the worst.
Yeah. I mean, there's kids in there that they're just trying to get better. And, maybe they don't care so much about the sport or whatever, but, they just want to be a little more competitive. And those kids, it's easy to find that balance for me now compared to when I first started, where
Yeah.
I thought like everyone's goal is like get to AAA, the highest level. Let's go on to junior. Let's, try and get an education out of hockey. Some kids just want to play to fit in and have fun. And those are the kids I'm just like, yeah, let's just have some fun out here. Let's
Mm,
just make us better just so we're able to compete when we get to our sport, when we get to our league. We're not, letting our team down. Like those are your friends. You don't want to let your friends down. You're a goalie. This is your job right now. Like any job that you go to, and this is why hockey is so good at transitioning to the real world.
mm.
Everyone always likes to say the real world.
Yeah.
You're taking orders and instruction from a superior, a coach, a trainer, et cetera, et cetera. You're working in a team environment. Everyone's working together to achieve the same goal. There's different things about hockey. There's adversity. Maybe you're better than another kid, but you don't make it just because of so-and-so's parents. You learn politics really quickly. You learn things are out of your control.
Yeah.
Biggest thing is that you're in control of what you do. You might get cut because this guy knows that guy and they're best friends and they golf together, and you
Definitely.
got cut because of that.
Unfortunately.
You get to learn like, okay, there's things that are going to happen in life in the real world that I have no control over. All I
Yeah.
have control over is my attitude and how I handle this situation.
Yeah.
You can bitch and moan and complain and cry all you want, but it's not going to change anything. So
Right.
you can just change your attitude of how you feel about the situation.
Yeah. And this is something that sports can definitely do,
100%. 100%. Yeah.
but won't necessarily. Like necessarily.
Yeah, I think, if you don't learn these valuable lessons out of the sport, then you kind of waste your time playing the sport. Like you sign your kids up to play sports, how many of them make it to the big leagues where they can actually have, as we talk about, financial freedom from
Hmm.
playing a sport? Not many. Like there is a very small percentage. Just in Ontario alone, the amount of goaltenders that were my age trying to compete for 30 jobs in the OHL,
Yeah.
forget about it. Then you have 5 ages that are all trying to compete for those 30 jobs.
Yeah.
Very, very unlikely. Very, very small odds. So
Yeah.
what you're doing by putting your kids in sports, trying to build friendships that last forever. And all of my best friends that I have and still talk to this day are all guys that have played sports, and they've
Yeah.
all transitioned extremely well into the real world. And then you see the friends that maybe never had the opportunity to play sports or never really got coached before, and you kind of see like their work ethic and their attitude when dealing with superior, and like just little things like that, little tendencies that they have. You can really see that, okay, this guy missed out on the experience of being coached, the
Mm.
experience of belonging to a team, belonging to a group, working towards the same goal as I talk about.
Yeah. Yeah. These are the things. Like so I only played until I was 17 and then I started coaching.
Yeah.
So I never really got to be coached like properly. So
Yeah.
my whole thing came from the military, right? I did 4 years.
Yeah.
So basic training, 9 months, and then I worked for 3.5 years or so. Um, and for me, that really transitioned. So I was on the verge of being late for a practice last week for a club that I do that. I train with them every Tuesday. I wasn't, but I was there maybe only 3 minutes before the practice started.
Yeah.
And that's just not good enough for me
Of course. Yeah.
because I forgot to calculate. Like if I had looked on Google Maps, like because I have to use the navigator to get there. If
Of
I
course.
just
Yeah.
looked, the route that I chose had, roadworks on it. And that
Expect
set
a
me
lot.
back like 15
Yeah.
minutes.
Yeah.
And
What a terrible feeling that is. You just get that, you
it's
get that
horrible.
tightness in the chest. You're like, oh
It's
man, like,
horrible. And,
yeah,
the thing is, for me personally, I could never say, I'm sorry I was late. It wasn't my fault. I got stuck in roadworks. No, I
yeah,
should have looked at Google Maps before I
should
set
have been,
off.
yeah, should have been
So I just
prepared.
went up there and said, we should have started a little sooner. I forgot to look at Google Maps before I got here, and therefore I got stuck in this and that.
There's your accountability. Yeah.
Right, and that for me came from the military, and that has been it's so valuable because I remember being late for a lineup thing in the basic training once, well, probably more than once, but I remember my first time, and I was like, "Sorry, I'm late," and he just was like, "Don't apologize." say you're
don't be
late,
late.
and get in line.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter
Yeah.
if you're sorry. It doesn't matter why you're late. The matter of fact is you're late, and get to work.
Yeah.
Like,
Bob,
why you're late is irrelevant, right?
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter one bit why you're late. It's the fact that you are late and you're now holding the rest of the class up just
Yeah.
because of your inability to plan.
Right.
Like Bob Bugner, he's coaching the NHL right now, but he happened to be in Windsor when I had the opportunity to go to camp there, and he had a saying, if you're not 20 minutes early, you're late.
Yeah.
And that was his saying. So that was, you're giving yourself a 20-minute leeway for, okay, the traffic light is a little slower. I couldn't find a parking spot. Like something as simple as that. If you're not 20 minutes early to when they tell you to get there, they tell you to get there at 1 o'clock, you better be there at least 12:30.
Yeah.
Give yourself that extra 10 minutes on top of that 20 that he wants you there buffer. And that just goes to everything, being prepared, allowing yourself to be prepared and
I
not
agree.
cut things too close, right?
Because things could happen. You could end up not finding a parking spot. You could take the wrong exit. You could, anything.
Yeah, the line at Tim Hortons or whatever cafe you guys have down there is a little bit too long, and it takes us that extra 5 minutes to get through.
And like here in Gothenburg, you have trams.
Yeah.
And people are like, I'm gonna be late. I missed the tram. So yeah, but you also try to take the last available tram.
Tram, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And they come every 7 minutes.
Hours early. Yeah.
So had you been there 10 minutes prior, it would have been okay for you to miss that one because there would have been another one 7 minutes later.
Coming right away, yeah.
But you gambled to be there on the latest possible. Like, if I miss this tram, I'm fucked, kind of thing.
Exactly. Yeah, and that puts us in.
So why go for that one?
Really
go for the
position.
Go for the earlier one.
Yeah.
It blows my mind. It pisses me off. I struggle with people who have a lack of accountability. Like, if people who know that they're always late and you can account for it, you know that this person says he or she is on time, but they won't be, then it's like easier to deal with. The people, I'm gonna be there on time, and then they're not. That's the worst.
Yeah, it's like something as simple as like we go golfing with all of my friends, right? And
right.
When I tell my friends I'm gonna be there to pick you up at this time, and then I'm gonna be at my friend who lives 5 minutes away to pick them up at this time,
and they just got out of the shower.
Yeah, and hey, sorry, man, I'm just getting changed. Like, I just lost track of time. And it's like, something as simple as that. Like, people don't really think it's like a big mistake. Like telling your girlfriend, yeah, I'm gonna be at your house at 4 o'clock, but then you show up at like 4:15 and like 4:30. It's just little things like that. They have such an effect in our daily life of like just a simple I don't give a fuck factor. Like, I just don't care. Yeah. It's like you should care. Like, time is so valuable. Yeah. Time is so valuable. And you just think about like how many opportunities we have to just like contribute to our natural behavior that we do like without thinking about. Yeah. Our subconscious behavior, just having it to be like, I'll get there like 15 minutes late. I'll get there like 20 minutes late. That's just like a pure,
it kind of is.
It kind of could be, right? It kind of could be. Yeah.
So let's talk about, I want to have like, did you ever play net in floorball?
Yeah, a little bit. And, it's just one of those things, like, you can only take so many shots in your life. Like, I always liked being a player. Like, I always liked, this is another thing too. When I ended when I was 18 years old, I took a year off. And then when I was 20, I ended up playing junior hockey as a player. So I got to go play junior C and played as a player, which was really cool. Like, it's pretty unheard of, right? For, someone to play goaltender in junior and then also play player in junior.
Right. Yeah.
And it's all from floorball, right? Like, I really thought I could contribute a little bit more in floorball as a player than I could as a goalie. It's just I like sliding on ice. Like, my game is a lot of sliding, a lot of different movements that way, and I play the puck really well. And for me not to have a stick in floorball, I was like, this is gonna be really tough. So
so play the puck means the stick handling.
Yeah, stick handling, like getting out of the net. Yeah, like I'd say it's a little more similar to probably not a good example, but like Mike Smith. I know he's recently been like turning the puck over a lot, but any puck that came in, like they could dump it in from skating in from the blue line and dump it in to go for a forecheck.
Yeah.
Like one thing that I took a lot of pride in was being able to get myself out of the net and make a good first pass. No passes available. I felt I had the confidence to shoot the puck off the glass and get it out of the zone.
Right.
Basically allowing my defense to not have to skate from the top of the circles as they're leaving a gap. Puck gets dumped in, saving them that skate back to pick it up and then go off. Now, if a guy's coming to forecheck me, one of my defenses is open to make a pass. I have a forward on the wall that I can rim the puck around to. So you're just really playing 6-on-5 the entire time.
Definitely.
And that's what I really liked about, the goaltending position. I felt it helps me not only because my defense aren't getting like beat up behind the net, forward barreling down on them, like taking them out. And then I'm allowing myself to, feel a part of the game, make a good first pass, make a stretch pass out of the zone, clear the puck. It was something that, some teams that I played on really took advantage to. There's like a boring style of playing that it's like the 1-3-1. Our team was never the most skilled growing up. Like our AAA team was never the most skilled, but we adapted a system to force the other team to have to dump in. The way we set up with one forward, 3 guys across the red line, 1 guy back, and we'd kind of angle guys off to one side of the rink. Once they dump it in, then I'm right away grabbing the puck. And that can be so frustrating for an opposing team. Like you're not going to have a guy be able to stick handle through everybody. So allowing the team to play a structure and everyone works hard and then, we're making simple passes out of the zone. And, that's where we found like a lot of success being a less skilled team.
Right. So not having that ability in floorball to be able to go out and
really shied me away from the position. Yeah. And I just want to be part of the boys, right? It gets pretty lonely back there in the crease.
It does, yeah.
I just want to be one of the boys. So, and obviously I took a lot of pride, as you know, in making nice blocks. That was something I really took pride in. Like I wasn't going to be a guy that went out there and, snapped one from the point like Marcus Holmstrom. I didn't feel like I was going to be ripping a sweeper, in the top corner. So I felt, I was going to be the guy that, exactly. I was going to be the guy that, he'd block a shot, puck would go off, or ball would go off, and I'd be able to make a good pass. And I felt like I was always a good communicator. And I saw plays develop. I saw where the play was heading, and I felt like I was able to analyze and call the game out from a defensive standpoint a little bit better.
I got to show you on that topic, the one you just mentioned. So I have 2 monitors. That's why I'm looking off.
That's decent. Nice.
Let's see. Hold on. So this folder of mine, or this external hard drive, it has 1 terabyte of floorball on it.
Oh, yeah?
Wow. So I sometimes struggle to find exactly what I'm looking for. But I have this photo. Oh, I actually found the picture where Deej gave me the...
Oh, did you?
Yeah, where he gave me the card. Yeah, I got to do a screen share with you. Share screen.
I'd love to see it. I'll send that to him.
Yeah, I can send you the picture after. So you have it. All right. What screen? You're seeing this, right? Me.
Oh, yeah. There it is. That's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome.
Couldn't believe I had that photo.
Yeah.
So yeah, this folder called U19, and this was our first. This was the whole thing. This is Jeremy Peters jumping in the lake. This video right here. I'm not gonna put it up though.
Oh, that's a great picture.
Our last one. No, but I have this where there was an actual photographer, but maybe that was at the men's. Man, I saw this picture so recently. I gotta find it for you. This is the second time I was with U19, so it's not then. There's this picture of you and me. Those.
Yeah, I think. With the thumbs up. I think I remember the photo.
No, it's right after a game. None of us knew there was a photo being taken.
Oh yeah, and we're walking back. Yeah, I actually remember that one. Yeah. I'm kind of looking at you, and you're kind of looking away. I remember that photo. Yeah, that was the live.
I wish I could find it. Yeah. See, this is what I mean. I have too many.
Yeah. It looks like it's organized, but maybe not.
It's pretty organized, but
Yeah, that's pretty good.
all right, I'm gonna find it for you later. Actually, you might even know which one it is, like you said. But
Yeah.
so it's this. There you go. Me going up and high-fiving you for that very reason, because your
I remember the
communication
conversation.
from the defensive line was heard into the stands,
Yeah.
and I was like, and I had just had to go and commend you for like this type of communication from a goalie standpoint is so valuable. Obviously, you know that being a goalie.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's what I felt, right? I felt like I could contribute a little bit more being a player than I could being a goaltender. And yeah, like what I lack in skill and ball control and different things like that, I'll
Yeah,
make up for in position and communication. Like it's unbelievable to me, like how la- how it's not really talked about, people discussing communication and the value of it.
yeah,
Like if someone has someone running down on them and they're going back to track a ball, just letting them know what their next option is over something as simple as that. I just
mm,
gave you two words, over, and you know the guy's going to pass the ball to you, and it takes a lot of pressure off him.
yeah,
But if you let a guy run blind into the corner, now he has to worry about controlling the ball, keeping the guy in position on his back, turning, and then making a smart play.
yeah.
Not a very easy thing to do. And I
No,
find, a lot of the simple plays that I see, especially when I go out and watch games myself, just lack of communication, right? Goaltender's huddled on his post and he's looking off to his right side. Doesn't take a single shoulder check to the middle, right? No look, no find. What's my next option? If I have a defense posted up on a guy that's at my strong side post, okay, maybe there's a guy in the high spot. Well, for me, I'm communicating with my winger, hey Kinger, high guy. And then he's all of a sudden putting himself in position where that's no longer a pass option.
yeah,
So little things like that, okay, now I'm conscious that this guy coming out of the corner, he's my biggest threat. I'm not so much worried about the guy without the puck right now
because the pass
because
is
I know
taken
I
away.
have two guys there locked up.
Yeah,
So something as simple as that, right? And not overcomplicating things in your commands or your cadence, letting guys know they have time. There's a guy on you. Move it up the wall. Like little things like that. You have me.
mm,
Over. Little things like that. And then just also the rewarding factor of just seeing a guy make a nice pass and then your team breaks out clean. Or you see it where he doesn't get told that someone's coming on him and he makes a bad pass up the wall and then all of a
right,
sudden it's in the back of your net and you're like, oh, okay, that's something that definitely could have been avoided.
right. And then you're actually, from his and most people's perspectives, like that's his fault. But then you're like, what was my part in this?
Yeah, what was my yeah, maybe I didn't have specific hands on this play, but
Again,
my lack of
accountability, right?
accountability,
Like
right?
you would
Yeah,
actually go out of your way to be like, did I have accountability here? And if so, what was it? And that's what
yeah.
makes you a good team player, right? And I'm
It's
talking
so
to you
easy to say,
specifically.
yeah, thank you. It's so easy to say, oh, I had my guy. Oh, I had my guy. It was a bad play by him. Or it's
Mm,
another thing to say, okay, I didn't, basically support the play as well as I could have. And, it's very easy to get overwhelmed out there,
yeah,
especially when, teams are playing different structures and systems and then you fall into their trap, right? They allow the ball to go into your corner. And then next thing you know, you get trapped by two guys. And without communication, you don't know that trap's coming. You're running back. Your sole purpose
yeah,
is I got to get this ball and I got to try and move it up the floor. But I can't move it up the floor because I have two guys coming from either side of me. And until you know that trap is coming, okay, I can make a smarter executed play.
mm,
So it's like something as simple as that I feel is such a lacked skill that people get taught. I don't think, especially in goaltending, right? And like I'll go back to the skill talk. If you have a team that isn't very, very skilled, communication has to be your number one asset. It doesn't take a whole
agreed.
lot of skill to stand beside somebody and make sure that they have a tougher time getting the ball. But a skill that doesn't get talked about is letting someone know that they have to stand in the passing lane, they have to stand close to the stick, they have to be able to take away that potential shot. Like I would have a guy here on the short side on a power play, knowing what their umbrella is, knowing they're trying to set up to take that one-timer. And then as soon as that ball comes to him, he's thinking, oh, I have an open lane ready for my shot.
Right.
And then all of a sudden I'm right in there soaking a floor ball off the leg or off the midsection. And there's no better feeling because you're able to kind of analyze the play, see what's going to happen. Anticipation is like just one of those skills that I think you kind of have in all sports.
And shot blocking also, I can see this in the SSL like super clearly. I can SSL being the Swedish Super League. People who get out there to block a shot, there's a difference between those who just do that and those who go out there and want to get hit by the ball. And we have a couple of those people, and one of them isn't even a defender. Just when he goes down to block a shot, he wants that ball to hit him.
Oh yeah.
There's people 100%. Who just kind of sit there and like, all right, we'll see if this hits me.
Yeah. When you're actually tracking a ball in as a defender, and you can see it too, right? Like,
right, yeah.
There was no better games. We used to go watch the finals of the men's all the time, and you can really see the guys that they want to soak that ball. They want to get hit. They want that ball to hit them. They want to make the save
and take that for their team.
The goalie. Absolutely, yeah.
I just found this, by the way. I'm putting the screen share back up.
Yeah, there it is. Nice. That's a very exhausted John Jeffries right there, but
it is.
I remember that picture clear as day.
And I remember this. How actively I was looking for eye contact here because I needed you to know how good I thought this was.
Yeah, that's an awesome photo, just pure in memory. Yeah.
Actually, it was a folder just called Canada, so it wasn't that hard to find. Actually, I also have a video here where we're out in the snow in Riga, and like you guys are sledding down this tiny hill.
And
I was like, I think it was like Spencer or someone was walking in flip-flops.
Yeah, I think I probably had flip-flops on, to be honest.
You did?
Yeah.
I remember it was like, dude, I got a question for you. And I was unaware of the what are those meme? I didn't know about that meme.
Oh, yeah.
And it would have been perfect if I knew, but I was like, I just have one question for you. Like, why are you wearing those? And then someone went from the back or from the side went, what are those?
So yeah, that's really taking it back. That was that's a while ago that was popular to say.
It was, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I still watch a lot of battle rap, and that still gets brought up in battle rap.
Oh, for sure. Yeah,
but just for the memes, though.
Yeah. No, yeah, absolutely.
There's a huge event going on in Toronto right now, by the way.
Really?
Yeah, you got one of the major battle leagues in Toronto, and it's called King of the Dot. And they're doing a Grand Prix tournament, but the biggest prize in battle rap history. The winner gets $50,000.
That is big for
battle rap.
Yeah, that's very big. Yeah,
that is big money.
Yeah.
All right, but now I got a bit off topic. So I actually did an interview with an SHL goalie, Swedish Hockey League, from my hometown team, which is Skellefteå AIK, and he was the goalie of the year in our league last year. So great goalie, great guy. I did an internship for 10 weeks with him, which was just a dream come true. A team you've idolized growing up. You're in the stands from being a toddler. Yeah. Not toddler, maybe that's taking it too far. But,
younger kid.
From when I was young. And so I got to go in there and spend 10 weeks with him, and it was absolutely insane. So this guy's pretty good, right? He won the goalie of the year and 6 shutouts, which was tied second. Tied first for that, and highest save percentage and yada yada. And he was like, he was adamant that playing the floorball net was more difficult than playing the hockey net.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
So the reason being that the projectile in question is so unpredictable.
So unpredictable. Yeah.
But the hockey puck being a heavy object flying, unless it's a knuckle puck, it flies the way you want it to, and it goes where you want it to.
You see the vertical rise of the puck, and you're able to anticipate it, and it's a little bit more controlled. But you watch a guy like Alexander Ovechkin.
Yeah.
Everybody and their mother knows that shot is coming as a one-timer from that short side, and everybody knows it's coming down that lane.
Yeah.
But because of the stick, the way that his curve is, it hits the puck and it just travels like this. And that's very similar to a floorball, right? Especially the
right.
sweeper. There's such a distance that the ball travels. It ends up getting such a curve. So if you're looking at, professional shooters, you're looking at NHL players, and I've had the privilege of skating with them.
Wow.
When you get a one-timer, you see maybe the first 4 feet of the puck, and you're trying to predict the rise of the puck, and then you catch the next 5 feet. That middle zone is blind. Your eyes just are unable to pick that puck up. You're coming 110 miles per hour. Like they're fast coming off the stick, right? Like obviously 110 is the fastest shot ever taken from a skill standpoint.
Okay,
but, upwards to 80, 90 miles per hour coming in on an average.
Let me just do an MPH 2 kilometers per hour. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so they're zipping in on you. So your eyes just don't pick up that middle zone. So you're really anticipating the vertical rise of the puck, trying to have good active hands in front, be able to match that vertical rise with the, dexterity of your hands, finding pucks in front, little things like that. So allowing math and, predictable lines to play into goaltending makes it definitely a much easier sport. And then you also have guys that are just, Carey Price, he's 6'5". I think that's like the perfect size for a goaltender. And Vasilevsky, right? The way he moves around, you're able to predict the lanes that are behind you. You're able to predict the size of the net that's behind you and close that off in front. Guys are so smart with their angles, and they've done it a million times. Someone's coming down the short side. If they shoot short side, I know from video, I know from, years and years of experience, if I lean my shoulder in like this, if the puck misses me, it's simply missing the net.
Right.
But I know that just based on my angles, the trajectory of the puck, the correlation to how close that puck is to my body, what angles he's going to have, the rise of the puck. There's all these things that you're analyzing in such a short period of time. And that's what makes it so cool. And that's what makes it a lot easier than floorball. That ball moves in a much different path than that of a puck.
And you cover so much less net.
So much less net. Like you're so focused on just hands and shoulders and body.
Yeah, you actually you have to react to almost all the saves. Like you can't really just
be like a blocking style goaltender.
Right. Yeah, we've stolen the concept of box control from ice hockey.
Box control. Yeah.
And we use it, and especially from the mid-range game or maybe even the close game, especially the close game, it works so well because from that distance we do actually have the potential to cover 90%.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
But the mid-range and beyond, like further away,
you need pure athleticism,
and you will have to play far out, and then they will take 2 steps to the side and they will play past you, and it's
opens a completely different angle.
Like redirecting a puck, you can you actually punch the puck, like hit it down on the ground. But whereas a floorball will get redirected by touching the fabric of your jersey.
Yeah, it's such a light ball, right? Like you really got to get a good stick on it, and you can actually bat the puck down, and it'll stay in a good trajectory. You try that with a floorball, that ball's going.
You're actually going to punch it down into
punch it straight down, completely change its trajectory. Yeah.
So, did you ever coach any floorball goalies?
Yeah, so I tried through Sherwood. We had one kid coming up, and then down at Churchill, the school downtown. Like our U19 team was pretty much comprised of, had some kids from BC and Vancouver area, but most of it was Sherwood and Churchill. So you're talking, you got basically all of Sweden to form a U19, and then we had basically 2 high schools to form a Canadian national team. So, that helped us for chemistry wise, but obviously we're going to lose on the depth category, but it was cool just getting an opportunity. And, I didn't know a whole lot about like the techniques of floorball goaltending, but, I just found a kid that he seemed like he was a really good athlete and moved around really well. And I just said, hey, like you got really good hands, got good coordination. He was a hockey goalie. So just tried to run him through, basic drills that I saw you do. Just, you're sliding on the floor and different things like that. And tried to run him through as best as I could. But most of it was just, I'd stand in the slot, have him fly off the post, and then I was just shooting, all right, let's warm up our right hand. Let's make good catches in front of the body. Let's get good piece on it. And then moving in tight, it's so difficult because, you have the ability to move the ball so quickly. And, again, with challenging too far, as you
Yeah.
said, you pull the floorball 2 feet, well, then you just open up a large portion of the net
Right.
just by moving the floorball over. So your depth can actually really affect the position of yourself in the net. So that was definitely a really cool experience, but I definitely like coaching hockey a little bit more than coaching floorball.
I can see that. So, we should. I know we talked about this, me coming to Canada, but there's never been the economy on my part to be able to go there. But
Of
I,
course.
I now started to. I also got to look up feet to centimeter. I'm horrible with imperial measurements.
Yeah.
2 feet is like, oh yeah, I'm 1 meter. No, half a meter almost.
Half a meter.
Um, so yeah, I started sometime last year doing the crossover into ice hockey.
Yep.
Because I did this internship through my university, and obviously I grew up watching ice hockey, and it's such a cool sport. And
Absolutely.
I really really like the goaltending part of it. They just look so cool. If we just
Oh
start
yeah.
there, they look
Absolutely.
like I had one of the on a training today. He was like 10, and I was like, "All right, you can put your masks down," and he just goes,
Yeah,
punches the
just
mask
slams
down.
it
I was like,
down.
and
Yeah.
I actually told him in
That's
front of
so
the others, I'm
cool.
like, that looks so cool.
Yeah.
When you
Yeah.
do that. And
Yeah.
then, it's just a fascinating, such a fascinating position. And what I learned is that I can teach ice hockey goalies fairly efficiently, not because, there are really key differences. Like
Yeah.
you're not using your like foot in a shoe. You actually have a
On a
tool
blade.
on
Yeah.
your foot
Yeah.
that you have to find the outer cut or the inner cut, or
Yeah.
all these, and you have two tools on your hands and another tool in that hand, and there's just the many techniques that I'm not privy to at this point, but so many aspects of it are the same. So when they go on your side, they go closer to the board. With the basics of box control, the net's going to become smaller. You don't have to be so wide. You can be taller and narrower, and just
Yeah.
put your feet closer together to be prepared for the move. When the puck comes close to you, make sure you lean over it, lean forward,
Yeah.
get your
Project
hands
over
out,
top. Yeah.
and be sure to track the puck, track the ball. Like, so many of these aspects are so much the same, and it's so cool. And so what would you say is if you were to like zone in on, I don't know, 2 or 3 like key things of ice hockey goaltending,
Yep.
what would those be?
I'd say the biggest thing would be the way we track the puck. That'd be the biggest thing.
Yeah, we've
Uh,
so stolen that from you.
yeah. I
I
think you
I
have to, right?
I sorry for interrupting.
No, go
I
ahead.
with my goalies, the ones that I teach freelancing and in my club, I'm on them so hard about this whole thing because
Yeah.
we haven't really learned how important it is yet. It's like, yeah, but I can save without looking. Yeah, of course you can save without looking, but it's not better to save
It's
without
not
looking.
better.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah. Now, the example I give for a lot of kids, right? Like we do the rope training where you kind of essentially break down box control to like a visual representation.
Mm,
I do 2 lines from the crossbar
mm,
down into the path of the puck.
yeah,
So then you kind of create like a little bit of a triangle, and this kind of helps kids realize their depth, realize, how far I actually have to move, and also how little I have to move. As you
exactly.
get
Yeah.
closer to the apex of the triangle, that means I don't have to react as far. I don't have to move as far. You see so many kids, make the save that's right there, right? He's really stretched out to the blocker side,
Mm,
or you
mm,
see them move their chest so far away from the puck. But you see guys that make really technical saves. As we're in our box, I can meet the puck right here in front of my face. If that puck misses my blocker here,
yeah.
again, because of my control of my box behind me, that puck is missing the net. I know from the shot coming from this distance, okay, I move to here, puck misses me, it's missing the net. I've done all I needed to do to track it. And
Yeah.
the worst thing you see with tracking is kids allow their head to turn to their shoulder. Once their eyes go outside of their shoulder, you start to see this from the upper body.
Mm,
Well, now all I've done is essentially open the door. I've opened the path for the puck to find a much bigger net.
right.
Whereas if I keep my shoulders and my chin on the inside of my shoulders won't have the natural ability to move anymore.
Oh,
So now
right.
everything I
Right.
track is down like this. As soon as I allow my eyes to do this, now my body's here, and now I'm finding pucks at the side of my body
Mm,
instead of finding pucks on the inside. So I'd say not only tracking into the body, but also tracking off the body. How many times do you
Mm-hmm.
see a guy come across, make a nice save, but then that puck lands, 2 feet in front of them and they lose it? I'm so focused on this one spot the puck hits, and then all of a sudden it's not going with me. You see Hudolbin, he's unbelievable with pucks hitting him and him tracking pucks, watching them up. Okay, there's my rebound.
Mm-hmm.
Not only am I tracking into the body, but I'm tracking off the body as well. Pucks get lost on the pads. They hit the pads, they pop out in front, they go to the corners. They do a good job of watching pucks in and then watching where they die off to. So I'd say that's the first one. Definitely tracking in, tracking out, proper hands. That's like a really big thing as well. And then communication. Like I'm so big on that with my goaltenders, making sure I'm able to anticipate, I'm able to do my head checks, know what's coming next. And then for number 3, I'd have to say puck control. Whether
Oh
that's
yeah,
puck,
so stick handling.
yeah, stick handling, puck control,
Mm.
whether that's getting behind the net. So I'll run an example for you. If we're coming down the left side so you're in the net,
Mm.
play's coming down the left side, it gets dumped in. If you go stop the puck behind the net, something as simple as setting the puck up closer to the net so that your left-handed defense can come around and pick it up. A
Oh,
lot
and
of people will just
go between you and the boards.
go between you and the boards. They can just skate here and just pick up the puck freely, like how they naturally would stand with a player stick. Now I can pick it up, and then it's easier for me to pass. If they have pressure on them, it makes it even easier for them to naturally stride and pick up the puck and go around the net. If you just go behind the net and stop it towards the boards,
Mm.
and they're coming in as a lefty, now you're forcing them to make a skilled play from their backhand or their forehand, and
Right.
that's where things go wrong. They have
Right.
to
Yeah.
slow down to pick the puck up. They get hit. They end up falling down. They end up mishandling the puck. Just little things like that, you can allow yourself to, really make it easier on your forwards.
Right. So two of these aspects that you bring up are really like in a simple way very teachable.
Yep.
The uh, final one, or in the order that you said them, the second one is something you really have to like you have to have an actual hockey practice with a team
A team,
to
yeah.
get. So if you were to, even though you have that one as your second, if you had to swap it for something that's trainable on your own or with very
Okay.
small measures, what would that be?
Definitely just basic flow inside of the net.
Basic flow. So
Having,
that's movements,
yeah,
or
yeah, movement. So I've been really on this theory lately, and I've been talking a lot about it with my young goaltenders. Especially when you get to a training facility, everyone, there's guys, anyone can put a goalie through a good workout.
Mm.
Any coach can, yeah, get going, game speed, game speed.
Mm.
If you watch a lot of the, professional goaltenders in their training, they're moving in a natural state of flow, a flow that isn't, so there's a flow chart, and that basically describes something that's too challenging for us to do,
Mm-hmm.
and that causes us to get frustrated. It's too hard. We end up giving up. We're not
Yeah.
able to perform the best of our abilities. And then there's the flow that goes the opposite way, where something's too easy. We get bored of it. We just lose focus and lose interest. You want things to hit both aspects of the chart. You want it to
Right.
be
Yeah.
somewhat challenging, but also in the middle. So I try and get a lot of my drills to be, strong repetition. We're getting anywhere from 6 to 10 sets
Mm.
of one specific movement, but we're moving at a state of flow, 75 to 80%. When you're coaching and something is coming like so naturally to you, you just, oh, boom, okay, an hour just went by. I didn't even realize I was just in that natural state. Like I was coaching, everything was coming to me. I was seeing things. It was
Mm-hmm.
problem
Yeah. Yeah.
solving. Like everything was there.
Oh yeah.
You've attained that state of flow. Same thing with working out. You just reach that state. So with
Definitely.
goaltending, try and allow people to keep their tempo and also the state that they're moving in a decent flow. In a game, you're not really moving at like 100% of your top speed. There's situations that will arise, like plays will develop where you got to give like max effort, but
Yeah, for
most of
like
the
three,
time when
four
you
seconds.
watch, yeah, 3-4 seconds, when you watch guys move around the NHL, they're moving in that state of flow. The biggest knock on Carey Price when he first came to the league, people were like, oh, he's lazy, he's out of shape, he doesn't look like he cares, like he's got, but then you watch him now, just so well operated through the net. Like
Mm.
every step he makes is accounted for. Every single play he comes out. Again, that goes back to him having the ability to anticipate the play that's coming next. Takes a lot of stress off. Gives me the ability, all right, shots coming in, I'm here, pass comes in. Okay, I know what I'm doing next. I'm anticipating what I'm doing next. Then I execute it at proper tempo. So little things like that, I'd find, getting kids to move properly with good state of flow through the net not only helps our rebound control, our positioning, our balance. Like there's so many aspects that you hit when you really focus on moving with control, moving with tempo, little things like that. So I'd say that's the one that I would swap.
So I'm now actually coaching hockey goalies twice a week.
Yep.
Which is super cool. Actually, today I had my first ever session that I led on my own.
Really?
Well, yeah, nice. It was 2 sessions with 1 hour apiece, or at 1 hour apiece. The first one was with 3 guys who were like 15. And the other session was, they were 10 years old and there were 3 of them.
Yeah.
No, sorry, the first guys, there were 4 guys in the older one, and the younger ones were 3 kids at 10 years old. And I had this whole thing written down, like, this is what I'm going to do, because I've never had them on my own. They've met me before, but I've always been the assisting, because I'm coming in as, I don't have, because Swedish hockey has really good training programs.
Absolutely.
Really good education.
Programs are awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. And I've done none of them. They've just thrown me into the bunch because they need help, and they've seen that I really want this, and they were like, no one can do the session on Sunday. Can you do it on your own? I was like, all right, yeah. If I can write this program out, send to you, and you can tell me like, all right, seems fair enough, like seems doable, then I can do it. So I did that, and then first of all, super fun, and kind of a little bit nervous.
Yeah, absolutely.
But so if I run through with you what I did, and you tell me whether you think that was like those were good things to do.
Absolutely. Let's hear it.
All right. So imagine, so I have 4 guys at the age of 15-ish, and they've been doing this for a couple of years.
Yep.
And so what I did was, the first thing, I just gave them free space to warm up. We call them hip openers. I don't know if you call it the same.
Yeah. Just like kind of spreading apart, and like almost like a yoga pose kind of thing.
All right. No. So this means, like, for these guys, this seems to mean you move around. You
really?
You do like a big
C cut.
A big C cut.
Okay.
To open your hips, and you rotate 180 degrees. Like they do this to
big rotation,
get the push with their hips, and so I let them do that for a little bit until they were ready. I was like, when you guys are ready, you come over here. They did, and then the first exercise was within a face-off circle. They're not called a face-off circle. What are they called?
Yeah, face-off circle. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. The big circle. They each of them got to have 1 puck, and instead of the traditional just try to knock each other's pucks out, which I am a fan of as like an aspect of competition, but this was warm up, and I wanted them to practice stick handling. So I want you to skate within the circle as much as you can. So never stop your skates, and just handle the puck and don't run into each other, and have your heads up. That was the first drill we did, and they just went in their stick handling.
Were they staying in their goalie stance while they were skating through, or were they like stick extended, like they were playing it?
More so in their goalie stance. They were, except for this one guy who wasn't really. He's hard to engage. There's always that one kid.
As we talked about.
More so, as we talked about, more so kind of like poked the puck around. But the other guys they were hunkered down, and they had 2 hands on the stick, and they were just as they would if they were to go behind the net to get a puck.
Yep. Okay. All right.
So I did that for like
the knob and one on the round. Okay.
Exactly. So like for maybe 1 minute, and then a breather, and then 2 more times. No focus on any pace or skate fast, just continuous skating.
Yep.
After that, because we had them on Friday as well, and when we practiced passing last, they tended to like 7 times out of 10 just do them in the air. Like they would send a long pass. And there are other coaches were like, we need a little bit more emphasis on the flat, the passes.
Yeah.
The high quality passes on the ice.
Not just sending a flutter puck, because then
Right.
your guy's setting up differently. Like everyone wants to throw sauce, right? Sauce or pass, the puck floats nice. Everyone wants to toss sauce around the ice, but
and it lands flat and nice, and it looks cool.
Yeah, it does look cool, but the majority of the time, if you're snapping it to a winger on the wall, naturally they're going to set up different, as if they have to knock the puck down. So then they're getting themselves out of a position that they're going to be able to skate up ice after. But if you're a goaltender and you snap a nice hard flat pass, they're able to receive it, and then now I'm up ice moving naturally as I would, or I'm ready to make a pass moving out. There's just something about like the psychological aspect of sending a flutter puck. You'll see a guy that adjusts differently and gets them out of a position that they're able to move right away from. So
exactly,
it's a very good thing that you brought that up about keeping it flat, hard pass.
Yeah, so we did that stationary, just not that far distance. Just make sure to really get good hard quality passes. Do 10 each, and then come here again. I want to see what you guys think. And then they kept their head down, didn't see where the receiver would be.
Yep.
So they got to do it again, and much more emphasis on you actually have to lift your head, see what the other guy is. I want the guy to receive, to knock the stick. Like, this is where I want it. And then we added some movement to it, so that the guy that wanted to receive the puck had to do some skating, because again, we want them to practice skating. So like you have the puck, and I start skating somewhere, and I give you 3 good hard knocks, and then you have to hit me with precision on the ice whilst moving. We did that for a little bit, and then the final thing that we did, because it's only like a 50-minute session before the what's it called, the Zamboni comes Zamboni, on.
What do you guys say? What's the pronunciation?
Like in Swedish?
Yeah.
Ismaskin.
Ismaskin? Really? Nice.
Nice. So ice machine.
Yeah.
But then again, with my accent, it becomes Ismaskin. But with the Gothenburg accent, it is Ismaskin.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Can you do that way? Ismaskin?
Ismaskin?
Yeah, it's much more in the back of the neck. So, but Ismaskin. So the last thing that we did was they would, see if I remember this correctly. This was just this morning, and I'm struggling to remember. All right, I have it written. Memory. I have it written down. Memory. I have it written down. Hold on. Oh, there you go. So yeah. This is the final thing that we did. We've been practicing the basic stance a lot. Make sure you get the triangle with your feet and your stick, and all this stuff. But I wanted to practice what happens if you're put in an awkward spot and you have to get back up. So you went for the rebound and you miss it, and now you're lying flat. Or you went for the exactly like on your wall. You've pushed off and you've stretched out and you've ended up on your belly and need to get up and find your basic stance real quick. So we did that for a little bit. They had to from lying down get back up real quick, and then when they did, the other goalie would shoot. So they got to practice shooting and then trying to make that save. And then in the end, I did some breakaways on 2 of them because they requested it, which is interesting considering my level of stick handling and stuff. So then we did the same thing for the 10-year-olds whose attention span was a lot shorter.
Absolutely, yeah. Naturally it is.
I had to tell you, the most difficult thing for me all this morning was how hard to shoot on the small guy, the 10-year-olds.
That's a skill in itself, being able to have the finesse.
I was super scared. Like I was like, first of all, I'm not a great shooter because I haven't spent that much time. So I was like,
I was gonna say, how are your puck skills? Like,
no, they're
skating and.
My
Not so
skating
good.
is not bad. Like I grew up
Yeah.
skating,
Okay. All right.
but compared to a hockey player, like I'm
Yeah.
very one-sided.
Okay. Yeah.
Like I'm a
Right side
lefty, so
dominant.
I
Oh,
will
okay.
be
Yeah.
stronger on one side. But so for the older guys, I could just, like, to use your words, put some sauce on it and just
Yeah. Yeah. You could
put
absolutely.
it
Yeah.
towards the
You could
goal
lay them
and
in.
make sure it's in the air.
Yeah.
If it's too, like, a little harder, doesn't matter. But kids, I was terrified. Like I'd never taken proper shots on a 10-year-old
Yeah.
because I'd seen them without their mask on and they were so tiny. So it's like I was gonna like shoot hard and then I didn't even lift the puck. I shot it on the ice because I was so scared. And then
Yeah.
after like taking 10, 15 shots, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna try to lift this one. And I was bam, hit him in the head. I was like, oh my
Nice.
God. And I skated
Nice.
over. I was like, are you okay? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
and that was so challenging. So I realized next week I'm gonna request that they shoot on their goalies so I get to see how hard they can shoot on 10-year-olds.
Yeah.
So yeah, so
Absolutely.
basically what
Yeah.
we did was skate and do some puck handling, do some passing, and then just a lot of focus on the basic stance. And
Yeah.
that's for 15-year-olds who've done that for a couple of years.
Nice. Nice. No, yeah, like overall, it sounds like you really got a good wraps on kind of what you got to attack with the goaltenders. I think like as you move through and you can you can just keep things as simple as possible. That's really like the biggest thing, right? Like
Right.
as the kids get more advanced, like one of my best friends, Mark Sinclair, he plays NCAA hockey for Michigan Tech.
Mm-hmm.
So he plays Division I college hockey, and he's my training partner all the way through growing up. Unbelievable goaltender, and yeah, he really broke it down for me and just said like as these guys get older, the simpler the drills, the better. So like just something as simple as I'm coming out off my post, T push out to my short side angle, look, pivot, get myself to the middle, make good contact in front. Just little simple drills like that. You don't need anything complicated. You're getting like a 3-4 shot drill that you kind of see, but most of the really good goalie coaches out there, they find a way to keep things really simple. Because a lot of the time, that's all it is. Simple adjustments. We're trying to break bad habits, as I talked about. If a guy does have a habit of turning and making contact to the side of the body, how can I keep that contact in front? How can I, allow myself to make this T push I make 95 times in a game, but have my hands in front every single time? Building that muscle memory, building that repetition is just so important. With 10-year-olds,
Yeah, I was just about to
there's
say, so
there's
because with the older ones, you can put some accountability on
yeah,
them, which like
yeah,
if I give you a passing drill and you're 18 years old,
you
I
can
can be
make a
like,
pass.
come
Yeah.
on, I need you to dig
Help
into
me
this
out here.
exercise and make
Yeah.
it good. If it's
Yeah.
too easy for you, do a backhand forehand move and
Something.
pass.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
exactly.
can just tell them to do it better. But what about the 10-year-old who does like when he or she shoots like passes 10 pucks and you can see that they're like, they're starting to get bored or distracted. Like,
Yeah.
where would you go with like 10-year-olds?
Yeah, the attention span, like we're lucky here. We don't do too much where we're spreading the age group that thin, where we're getting like
Okay.
10 and 15-year-olds on the ice. Like a
Yeah.
15-year-old, like I'd probably only put a 13-year-old with them, right? That's probably the
Mm-hmm.
youngest I would go. But like with 10-year-olds specifically, there's something that you really see when it comes to the way they react to shots at their own level.
Mm.
For little kids, you'll see them take like a big, they drop their shoulder and they just don't have the strength to, shoot with just their wrists or their forearms, right?
Right.
You'll see them take a really big dip. And I'm coaching a 10U AAA team back home here.
What does
And
that
I
mean?
see it.
What's all this double and triple A? I just Googled Athletic Association. That's double
Yeah.
A.
So yeah, AAA is basically the highest level of minor hockey that you can play.
Okay, and next
Um,
question, what's minor hockey?
Minor hockey is like younger kids. So junior hockey is 18 and older,
Okay.
or sorry, 16 and older, and minor hockey is everything under 16. So you have
Okay, I see.
like
Right.
you have your draft year at 15, and then 16 years old you have the option to play major midget. Minor midget is like where you get drafted, and then you have major midget, and there's like Pee Wee, Bantam, Tyke, Atom, different kind of rankings you get yourself through. So instead of
I can't believe it's called major and minor midget.
so because of today's climate, because of the culture out there, it's
It's
now
so,
everything is 15U, 16U, so
yeah.
16 and under, 15 and under. So 10U is 9 and 10-year-old kids that are
Okay.
playing. So as I was saying, you see the players come down and they take this big wind up and then they shoot the puck and it's just a little muffin. It's just a little floater. But when I'm shooting on the kids, I put some good pace on the puck. Like I don't really let up too much. Like I, adjust to the speed of the kid or whatever. And, I'm floating pucks in. I'm lucky that, I have pretty good puck skills. I'm able to, put different finesse on the puck to adjust the speed accordingly. And whether I'm rolling my wrist hard or not, I'm kind of floating them in how I need to with the younger kids. And that just comes from years of doing it, right? But I see, the goaltenders, they're set up in their stance. Once they see this big windup coming, you start to see this with the upper body.
Yeah.
Start to anticipate like that puck's going to come in. So I find with the 10-year-olds, that's like the biggest challenge, is not reacting to what the stick's doing, but waiting until the puck is in the air before the shots come in. It's really tough concept to get to. Hey, listen, that player is going to drop their shoulder. They're trying to get all the power through the shot. I'm shooting way harder than these guys are, and you're just moving in and making a save. But I'm not doing any sort of sell with my upper body. I'm just coming in. I'm just snapping the puck, sending a good sauce, and then they're making a good, easy save in front of their body. But when, for some reason, the shape of the player, the way they, drop their shoulder, it causes goaltenders to kind of, tuck themselves in. And that's just a subconscious thing you see with kids to, anticipate that shot's coming in. Oh, it's going to hurt. Oh, it's going to be like a really, really hard shot. But all you're doing is making yourself immobile. Like you're really hindering your movement. You're basically wearing a pair of handcuffs. You're making yourself all tight, which then makes the net smaller as well. So really trying to get it in kids' head to wait until the puck comes off the stick before we start making our reaction. That's like really one of the biggest things that I kind of focus on, especially with the little kids.
That's like that's a very good thing like that you're mentioning. It's like there's an analogy you could make here with like horror movies.
Yeah.
A big part of getting, I never watch her. I get so scared.
No, you're not. I'm not into it. I do love them. I'll be honest.
Can't watch. Even if it's not a scary movie, I will get scared.
Just a thriller. Yeah.
Oh yeah. She has to watch the trailer before me and tell me whether I can watch the trailer.
Bad or not. Yeah.
Jesus. But I know that a big part of a good scare is the build up, right? Whereas if you don't get the build up, you just get the jump scare.
Exactly.
I'm trying to get the analogy here. Like when they're doing this, like I'm gonna shoot so hard, this is gonna hurt so bad, and that gets in their head like, oh shit, this is gonna hurt. This is gonna hurt.
Yeah.
But if the puck just comes and they don't have time to build it up in their head, they can just act on it, and that's a whole different thing.
Exactly. Yeah. The anticipation is tough, right? If you would have got off one session and they would have said, "Hey, we need you to run this next session," you would have said, "Oh, okay," and then you would have jumped on and been okay. But because they told you, "Hey, can you run this by yourself?" Now the whole time you're setting up, you're making yourself more nervous with the anticipation of getting through it. So it's a little bit easier to just react to things compared to, sit and plan. Do you golf much? Are you a golfer at all?
No, not at all. Not at all.
I think, and we've had this argument between our friend group forever, but I think golf is one of the hardest sports in the world.
It has to be.
Has to be, just based off these guys have so much anticipation before the shot. You hit a perfect shot. Now you're going up to your next shot, and that whole walk, that entire time you're waiting for the next guy to shoot, you're sitting there just trying to make your shot yourself, make your putt, sink your putt, millions of dollars on the line. A sport like hockey and basketball, you can argue it in the different sense where, you're not as much anticipating. Everything's kind of read and react. As I said, you're in a state of flow. You're making your passes. You're going to get the puck. I'm doing something I've done like a million times before, right? You're not really doing as much thinking. But then you get to a sport like golf and it's just, you're just the entire time in your head trying to figure out about what kind of shot I can make. Oh, I messed up. Oh, that was terrible putt. That was horrible shot. I ended up in the bush. Like it's just little things like that.
Penalty shootouts, right?
Yeah. So penalty shots, those are another one where the anticipation on both sides.
Yeah. Definitely.
It's really stressful.
They will be like, if you know that, oh, this guy's supposed to be a good penalty shooter and you're the goalie, you'll be like, oh shit, I have to save this. How am I going to save this? And if I let this in, we're going to lose and and that makes it so much more scary. Absolutely. But how would you? So I have one more question, and then I have something I got to show you, and then after that, we actually have to start making dinner.
Yeah, no
Uh,
worries, man. Absolutely. I probably gotta get going myself after this.
yeah. So that's a I want to say kind of abstract thing to practice, which is still very practicable.
Yep.
Um, so if you get more practical, like when you get, so one of the goalies that I had today, they're still in rotation on the positions, right? They get
Yep.
to do goalie, like you said, they pulled the name out of the hat, but they
Yeah.
still really like it. So where would you go, not just with the abstract thing of, getting the concept of react to the puck and not to the player?
Yep.
Where would you go, like practice wise, more
The more
practically?
focus you could do on just your specific movements, good shuffles, good C cuts, forwards and
Mm,
backwards. I basically started off with young kids. Everything in goaltending, as I mentioned earlier, is basically isometric. You're dividing your body in half and using one leg, one leg. I'm
right.
getting up with one leg. I'm pushing with one leg, whether it's a
Mm-hmm.
power slide or a butterfly slide. I'm usually always doing things with just one side of my body. So I usually start every practice, goaltenders in a stance, quick adjustment of the stance. And then I'm usually starting on the goal line, going to the blue line. I'm only using my right leg. So my left leg travels in a straight line. My right leg is doing what you call maybe hip openers, doing my
Right.
C cuts. Just that one leg is getting used to digging into the ice, digging in, getting myself comfortable on both of my edges.
Yeah.
Especially when you look at players, the players moving around, the first thing they're taught is I got to be good on both edges. I got
Right.
to turn both ways. I got to be able to cross over both ways. Everything has to be done, kind of isometrically, right? Half of
Mm-hmm.
our body.
Mm-hmm.
So then same thing going backwards. I'm using my toe to dig into the ice, using my toe. And that transitions to my slides, my T pushes, my shuffles, really focusing on the basics. And then again, as soon as they finish it at one leg each side, then I get them going both legs. First set at like 50% of their top speed. And I tell them the next two, like, let's get some good pace. So then you see their first one, they're like, dig, 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 dig. And then the next two, it's really snapping into the ice. And you start to see them get comfortable on their edges, get comfortable on their blades, really start digging in. And then usually I start them back on the goal line. I'll set up 3 pucks, one on each short side and one in the middle, or start
Mm-hmm.
them in the middle of the net. Because usually that's where you're starting as a goalie. You're standing on the goal line and you're watching the play at the other end. And then now I work on them C cutting out of their crease right
Mm-hmm.
to the top. So once they get out to the short side, I'm doing T push to the top, T push to the short side, C cut backwards into the middle of the net. C cut back out,
Okay.
T push, C cut back. That's just a drill I do with little kids. And then there's so many other things you can do from there. Get them coming out, shuffling to the middle, then making a T push, making a butterfly, getting up from our stance. Like there's so many little, how do you say, adjustments that you can make from there, or a little bit more of like, you can just like kind of tweak it a little bit more, right? Like
Mm.
you can make it harder for the older kids. You can use that same template, but then maybe you're adding a butterfly slide, or you're making a slide back to the post, or you're
Yeah.
just doing a simple butterfly with a rotation to get back to the post. Like really giving them like, okay, this is a clear cookie cutter thing that I can do every single time,
Yeah.
and it's going to simulate basically what happens every single game.
Exactly. So that's a good point. So when you have the 3 pucks, it's like this is very likely to happen in a game that you have to move to the top of the crease and then T
Yep.
push out and then C cut down. Actually, or
Yep.
shuffle down maybe.
Yeah. So slide down or
Yeah.
shuffle.
And
Like
then
for me, anytime a puck is moving in a pass, you're using a T push.
mm,
Anytime a player is skating with a puck, you're obviously using a shuffle, right?
right.
Your feet are staying on the ice. You're maintaining a stance the whole time. Where as a pass moves, there's no threat of a shot, so I can open up from my stance and I can move into a T push. So
Right.
little things like that. I use 3 simple terms when I talk about trying to get from a butterfly position at the top of the crease to back to the post.
Mm.
I break it down. I call it look, pivot, push.
Look,
So
pivot, push.
you
Makes a lot of
you
sense.
you explain those three words to a kid, and I usually just try and ask them all the time, what are the 3 steps? What do we got to do? Look, pivot, push. And it's like just a simple formula for them to, I'm at the top of the crease. Instead of just getting up and trying to move myself back, we want to move the fastest way. We want to move in straight lines. That's
Right.
the
Yeah. Yeah.
quickest way to get anywhere, is a straight line. So from this down position, I have to look, pivot, make my push back to the post. So going back to what you said, T push shuffle and getting up from a butterfly, being able to perform a push back to the post or to other positions at the top of the crease. Those are like your three big foundational things that I think every young kid should be just hammering out every single time, just really hammering out. Can I get down to my butterfly? Can I get up with both my legs? Can I rotate and get back to either post from any position at the top of the crease?
Wow.
Once they get a good grasp of that, then it's just, I'm just working on those. I'm introducing slides. I'm introducing different abilities to get them, having a little bit more fun out there.
I'm actually now going to like sit down and draw some, because I have these types of drills for floorball.
Yep.
But since I don't know, like the look, pivot, push, I actually use a similar thing, but it never occurred to me because the pivot is so much more important in ice hockey, right?
Oh,
if you don't
absolutely.
pivot, you won't get the power to push, and all this.
Yeah.
I'm gonna sit down and try to draw some exercises.
Yeah.
I think I might have to.
That's awesome.
All right, dude, it's been a joy talking to you. We have to do this again.
Yeah, man, I really appreciate it for sure. I hope you guys are staying safe and healthy out there. I think
same, man.
Eating out of everywhere gets it under control a little bit better than anybody else in the world. So really kudos to you guys for that. But I hope things open up, man. I want to get back out to Sweden as soon as I can, do some backpacking through there. I'll be bringing my skates and gloves with me. So
yeah, you'll be more than welcome. Let me know if you ever if the plans ever seem to open up, and it seems to be happening. And I also hope to someday stop talking about getting to Canada and actually getting there.
Yeah, actually do it.
I wish you the best as well, man. Good luck with the things in Texas.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
So I will like rifle through, because I recorded this call now, and then I'll put some of it out as a podcast episode, and I'll give you, I'll like record an intro in post.
Sounds good.
And I'll do the video one as well, and I will send it to you so you can look it over if there's anything you like. Right, no, I don't want to put this out or this and that.
Honestly, anything I said, I'm completely comfortable with it going out. So
all right, cool.
I'll leave that up to you. I don't want to take away from your creative juice.
All right.
Yeah, you do what you got to do, buddy. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, super appreciate it.
This was a lot of fun.
It was really. So I'd like to pick your brain more on some goaltending later on.
Anytime, man. Anytime. We'll have just a specific goalie one too. And if you got another goalie coach that you want to bring on as well, and the three of us can have like a round table, then I'm 100% into that as well. I'd love to hear a little bit more about the Swedish game and the aspect of how you guys move around, and I'm always looking to learn and find new tactics and techniques.
Same here. Next time, I think Chris, my co-host, will be on as well.
That'd be awesome, man. Sweet. Sounds good, buddy. Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Yeah, you too. Take care, man.
Cheers.
Bye.